Multiple people shockingly released from TNA, the wrestling return of disgruntled Andrade, WWE star kicked out of a show, and more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Happy 10th Betray Your Brother's Aversary, everybody, because yesterday, the 2nd of June, marked 10 years since Seth Rollins turned on the Shield, Kingslayer, by hitting Roman Reigns in the back with a chair. A moment so impactful in wrestling history, Roman's still losing matches because of it 10 years later. Get over it, you big dog! But did you know Seth's heel turn was a relatively last-minute change after loads of last-minute changes? First, they were just going to unceremoniously break up the Shield in the 2014 Royal Rumble match. Then it was going to be Dean Ambrose that did the turn. And then, out of nowhere, reportedly because of a single bad Monday Night Raw rating, Vince McMahon hot-shotted the angle and had Seth break the faction up. Open up patreon.com/WrestleTalk in the link down below to watch mine and Luke's 20-hour-plus series diving into the first half of WWE in 2014 and all the other weird stuff at the time. Can I get a cheap plug in the comments? Also 10 years ago, TNA was in the creative and commercial pits. The Hulk Hogan and following Dixie Carter authority figure eras have been failures, and the company would totally run out of money at points over the next 3 years, where they were reportedly not able to pay some people on time. Somehow, 10 years later, TNA still lives, after being bought and saved by Anthem Entertainment. And this year has seen some of the promotion's biggest ever achievements. Their rebranding from Impact Wrestling back to TNA at January's Hard to Kill was the promotion's most successful pay-per-view since Genesis 2006, and they opened the prohibitive portal when Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace appeared in the Women's Royal Rumble match in WWE, bringing a whole new relevance to the initials TNA. Success, which the parent company Anthem celebrated by firing its long-standing, much-loved president, Scott D'Amore. The TNA locker room even sent a very well-written open letter to Anthem management asking for them to reconsider. TNA started to fade in relevance again until a shocking development on the 28th of May episode of NXT, where still Knockouts champion Grace appeared to be Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's title challenger at Battleground. Reports quickly came out that WWE and TNA had a genuine working relationship, where WWE contracted talent was set to appear on TNA programming soon. Pre-sales for their Slammiversary pay-per-view that same week saw them get their best numbers in a decade. Success which their parent company Anthem celebrated by firing everyone behind the scenes. PW Insider has reported that TNA's longtime creative director David Zahadi was let go after being with the company for 18 years. Following this news, Fightful Select revealed that R.D. Evans, who has been considered the head of creative since D'Amore was released in February, left by his own decision after growing frustrated with Anthem in recent weeks. An email was reportedly sent out thanking Evans for his work and that he had handed in his notice. The other big departure is that of Lou D'Angeli, better known to old ECW fans as Sign Guy Dudley, which PW Insider have described as truly shocking. He had been working as the vice president of marketing at Anthem Sports for TNA and was one of the driving forces behind bringing in Naomi and almost getting CM Punk and Mercedes Moné over the last year. Apparently at one point trying to make a Moné versus Mickie James match happen. PW Insider writes that D'Angeli's relationship with Anthem had frayed in recent months, specifically around the company being slow on confirming touring dates. D'Angeli was apparently pushing to try new things for the live event, but Anthem ultimately told him they were moving forward without him, which he was said to have agreed with. The backstage reaction to D'Angeli's departure has been a mixture of disbelief and sadness. Wrestling Observer Radio has described an uncertain future for TNA following the cuts. They have no marketing team. They have no live events team. They have nothing booked after they have a taping booked in Tampa, but there's nothing after that. Looking at the TNA live events page, that taping in Tampa is the 2nd and 3rd of August, aka Summerfest weekend. So right now, they only have 2 more months of dates. So what is going on? As usual, it seems to come down to a simple case of money. It's hard to know exactly how TNA's weekly programming is performing because recently they haven't even ranked in the top 150 shows on TV. That means they are doing less than a 0.01 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which translates into around only 19,000 viewers for the whole country. Not in total viewership, remember, just in that important demographic. For comparison, AEW and NXT did a 0.24 and 0.23 respectively last week, and Raw and SmackDown did a 0.55 and 0.56. That means TNA is between 23 to 56 times smaller than WWE and AEW's programming. F4W Online has said, clearly the company is going heavy into cost savings mode right now, but this has been called more than cutting to the bone and actually cutting bone. Cutting Bone, title of your next indie pay-per-view. And it seems this cost savings mode is at odds with the vision of D'Amore, Evans and D'Angeli, who wanted to grow the promotion. There's a lot of speculation over the future now of TNA, mostly centered around a change in ownership. Anthem reportedly already rejected D'Amore's pitch to buy TNA earlier this year, a move that happened at the same time they were starting a relationship with WWE, even down to calling their pay-per-views premium live events. So perhaps there's a chance of WWE buying TNA, if only for the tape library, which they were rumoured to be doing back in 2016 before Anthem bought the company outright. What could the truth be behind this TNA WWE superplot? I know, I'll use the wrestling ring!
I mean, really, sometimes it's just the most boring answer, because you see, Anthem also owned the MMA promotion Invicta, and they're going to a similar touring schedule to TNA, so perhaps Anthem are just like merging departments, kind of like how TKO are doing with WWE.
Fluke, WWE are buying it! Where perhaps in TNA, Andrade will finally be happy. After years of bad booking on the main roster, Andrade requested his release from WWE in March 2021. He debuted in AEW several months later, and by the following September, was seemingly upset behind the scenes there too, where he reportedly tried to get himself fired by starting a fight with Sammy Guevara backstage. He was suspended instead, and Tony Khan let his contract expire at the end of 2023. He then returned to WWE in the 2024 Royal Rumble, now with Triple H leading creative, and 4 months later, he seems to be disgruntled once again. It started on Saturday, where he was asked on X about getting caught in the Santos Escobar
LWO Latino Vortex.
Why do they always make Latinos fight among Latinos? Don't you know of another one? To which Andrade replied, I wonder the same! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So far, so mildly controversial. So the next day, he took it up a notch by posting on X all the other places he's wrestled, including AEW, the real Latino man, AEW, CMLL, AAA, with pictures of him in all three of those promotions. Funnily, Tony Khan might have responded to the second one, as he posted a gif from Scott Pilgrim shortly after that read, "See, I'm not such a bad guy after all." Perhaps either referencing how Andrade gets frustrated easily, or that AEW's booking of Andrade was better than what he's had in WWE so far. Or it's all just one big worky McWork face, like the curious tale of NXT wrestler Brooks Jensen. Last week, Jensen updated his social media to include his booking email details, implying he was preparing for life outside of WWE, which isn't such a shocking idea, seeing that his faction with Briggs and Henley split up in December, and there's been a bunch of NXT releases over the last few months. He also posted about Sexy Red being on NXT, saying, "It hurts when you once bust your ass off in the Performance Center for recognition and to be respected by your bosses and peers only to be exiled and see this crap." And he was also seen at a non-televised live event on Friday, sitting at ringside holding a sign saying, "Brett would book this better," presumably a shot at NXT's head of creative and sworn Brett enemy, Shawn Michaels. Security then confronted Jensen, and he was ejected from the show. Fightful Select has now revealed that this is all part of a storyline for Brooks, and it will soon become a featured part of NXT programming similar to Grayson Waller's feud with Michaels last year. Before NXT, though, WWE tried to revive another promotion as its third brand, and within 4 months, it was an absolute disaster. Here's a clip from Luke Owen's documentary on who really killed WWECW. Watch it now by clicking the link down below.
Now what if you took those 3 letters, stripped back all the things that made it special, took apart its very essence, dismantled its entire principle and point, and what you're left with is WWECW, WWE's incredibly cynical cash-in on a best-selling DVD. A brand that was destined to die before it even began, suffered death by zombie bites, untimely arrests, and a dreadful elimination chamber on one of the worst pay-per-views of all time, all in its first 6 months. Then it limped on for another 4 years to an embarrassing end.